Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ari, and today we're going to have some more stories about our toxic life. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video, if you enjoy it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now without further ado, let's go. Today's first story. In this story, Opie discovered his wife had a months-long affair and lied about ending it. Despite initial therapy progress, she continued seeing the other man. Her claim of fear and manipulation adds complexity. He is uncertain about trust and their future. The wife expresses a desire for reconciliation. Now let's get into the story. Yesterday, I just found out that my wife has slept with another man on multiple occasions. She has been seeing him for several months, if not most of this year. Toward the end of last year, we had been having a bit of a rough time, and she claimed that she had emotionally checked out. It was at this time that she began talking to this man. She stated that they had met up once and just talked. She said that it was at this time that she decided that she was making a mistake and chose to break things off. She had actually confessed to this in March, and we both began seeing therapists to try and work things out. In my opinion, and per her own statement, things were going well. And we had been spending a lot of time together in the last few months with barely any arguments. She stopped seeing her therapist, and so did I after we spent a week-long vacation together. That went great. Yesterday, I found out that this was not quite the truth. She admitted that she had still been seeing him, and that they met up again in the early part of the year at a hotel and had intimate. She stated that this was not the only time, and it had happened at least 2 other instances while they had spent time together. She spent time with him on multiple occasions while claiming to me to be spending time with her female friend. She claimed she did not sleep with him during every meeting. Here's where things get messy. She claimed she had been trying to break things off for a long time, but he was holding the original event over her with the unspoken threat of telling me everything. She stated that once we began working things out, and after she originally confessed half-truth confession, as she said, they never did anything physical originally was when she tried to break things off. She claimed to have been scared to tell me the full truth because she didn't want to lose me and is still in love with me. She said she thought he was crazy and might show up in her house if she refused to see him. She most recently saw him a week ago, and she denied sleeping with him. She stated she did not want to go see him, and that she cried, begging him not to make her. All this is extra confusing on top of everything else I forgave her after the original confession because she said nothing physical happened and she had cut off all communication with him months ago. That was a lie. She had recently been giving me treats and gifts as well as framing recent pictures of us around the house. This made me think things were going well. We share a home and several cats together, and I love them like my own children. I have loved her unlike anything else in this world and would have done anything for her. I hate the idea of losing any of the life we had together, but can I ever trust her? Can this ever be fixed? Should I even try? I've talked to her some more today, and she claims she wants nothing to do with the other man and wants to be with me. I just don't know. Edit for clarification. The AP was married. His BS caught him and informed me after confronting my diligence. She confessed there was no proof of a PA, but she admitted to it. Then I've finally been able to eat again, and I have spoken to a good friend who has my back for support. Today's second story. In this story, about 22 years ago, after ending a long-term relationship due to infidelity, casually dated a recently divorced coworker. When suspicions arose that the boss was involved with the new girlfriend, he confronted them at her apartment. Discovering the betrayal, Opie handled the situation maturely, maintaining focus on work. Later, realizing the boss wasn't paying for employees' sales, he exposed their misconduct, leading to the boss's firing. He then replaced the boss, enjoying a series of personal and professional victories, including getting rid of a cheating girlfriend, having fun with the boss's ex, and earning a promotion. About 22 years ago, I was working at a packing plant and had just ended a 4-year long-term relationship where I was cheated on. I put her to the curb and started dating again. I met this recently divorced girl at work who was the receptionist. She was cute and a lot of fun, so we started seeing each other. Everything was going well, but I wasn't serious about anything long-term. She would drop hints about moving in together, and I just never could pull the trigger with her. Something was wrong. We got really busy at work, and I was volunteering for as much overtime as I could to make extra money. I worked evenings, and my crew was small, and we were really close. One night, one of my guys said he saw my boss's car at my girlfriend's apartment building. Since he lived about 30 miles away, I knew something was up. I had worked for him the previous weekend, and my girlfriend ended up going to the casino that weekend. Since I got called into work, I knew something was up, so I walked up to her door and knocked. She asked, "Who is it?" I said, "It's me, baby. I dropped by to see how you're doing." I had a few minutes. She opened the door and let me in, and he was nowhere to be seen. I asked him to step out of hiding, and he did. I asked what was going on and for how long. They said they had been hooking up for about 2 weeks. My boss, who was recently divorced, was having hell with his ex. I had felt sorry for him up until that point. I said, "Well, I don't appreciate the high school bullcrap and that I didn't care if he saw her. If he wanted to turn, he could have just told me, and we could have been adults about it." He apologized for it, and then I told him that I didn't want this to interfere with my overtime. I still wanted to work as many weekends as I could. He said, "No problem." I never at any point acknowledged my soon-to-be ex's existence. She immediately became invisible and unable to make a sound in my presence. She kept trying to get my attention and apologize, but I never responded to her in any way. Between his messy divorce and my girlfriend, my boss had also been dating this cute young girl, about 20, that worked at the plant. A few days later at work, she asked me what was going on. I told her about what happened, and she was a little hurt. I told her that it was good she found out now before it was more serious. She said we should go out and piss them off, which we did, and she was a freak. I had a lot of fun with her. One day in the office while my boss was there, one of my coworkers asked me how my day went. I said it was great and possibly the best trade I had ever made. No regrets. My boss just got up and walked out. We didn't speak about anything other than business for about 2 weeks. On Fridays, we would sell employee sales to employees. The employees would go to the receptionist and pay and get a ticket to bring to us, and we would give them their food. My boss said, "Hey, I'm going to take these 10 boxes, and I'll pay for them up front on my way out." The road out went right past the receptionist's office so I could see if he paid or not. He did not. Since he had seemed to make this decision on the fly, I called the plant accountant and asked him to check the cash box and the tickets to see if there were any there for my boss. I suspected that my ex would just fill out the tickets and have them ready, and that way we couldn't catch her unless the box was short. No tickets had been made, so he just got in trouble and was eventually fired later. She was being scrutinized and seemed to be short in the cash box, but we were unable to tell for sure, so they had some come in and pay for food with a $100 bill. Since there were no big orders done the rest of the day, that would have required $100 as change. And since the $100 bill was missing from the box, at the end of the day, they knew she was skimming. She got fired. I replaced my boss as the superintendent of the department. I got rid of a cheating girlfriend, had freaky sex with his ex, and got to brag about it to his face, got rid of that same cheating boss, got 2 thieves fired, got a promotion, and still got to keep my overtime. Things usually don't work out that well for me, but that was priceless. Today's third story. In this story, Opie and their wife, married for almost 10 years, were happy until the wife decided to pursue a master's degree. Over time, the husband noticed changes in her behavior, suspecting infidelity. Eventually, he discovered through emails that she had been having an affair with her college professor for 3 years. Devastated, he moved out, initiated divorce proceedings, and cut off contact. Despite pleas for forgiveness, he is focusing on healing with the support of friends and plans to see a therapist. Now let's get into the story. My wife and I have been married for almost 10 years. We're both in our mid-30s. A few years ago, she decided she wanted to go back to college and get her master's degree. We both thought it was a good idea. Our married life was great, and we were both very happy. It was the happiest I had ever been. When she started going back to school, life obviously got busier because she had more on her plate. After a few months, her behavior started to change. She'd stay out later than normal to study at the university library, or she'd meet up with people from class for various projects. Sometimes she'd forget something at the office and have to go get it, even though it was late. I had a feeling something was off, but I had no proof. Everything she said made sense. Sometimes I would verify things or try to find inconsistencies, but everything seemed normal. I just thought I was being paranoid. One Saturday morning, I sat down to check my emails. We share a home computer which she sometimes uses for homework. I noticed she forgot to log out of her account from the night before logging her out. I saw tons of emails from one person. I didn't recognize the name, so I went to her Facebook and Instagram accounts to see if she was friends with this guy. Nope. So I Googled him, and it turned out it was her college professor. He was in his 50s, married, and had 3 teenage kids. It looked like he was happily married. I was relieved and didn't think much else about it. The email seemed innocent. I remember when I was in college, I emailed back and forth with professors all the time. From then on, I never noticed anything suspicious again. I thought I was being paranoid. Some time went by and life got easier. She was really hitting her stride with school, and she wasn't as stressed or busy anymore. We had more time together, and we started building a house. Life was essentially on cruise control until the nightmare began. It was a Thursday, and I decided to come home early and surprise her because I wanted us to go out for dinner at this new place that just opened. As I was driving down our street, I noticed a car pulling out of my driveway. We passed each other, and I immediately recognized the guy. It was her old college professor. So I immediately went inside the house and found my wife standing in the kitchen wearing just a towel. She was so stunned that she didn't even know what to say. Like she was fumbling her words, asking me why I was home. I immediately asked why her professor had just left our house and why was she in a towel. She told me I was overreacting and nothing had happened. So I went straight up to our bedroom and she tried to stop me. When I got to her room, it was obvious what had happened. I told her I was going to contact his wife if she didn't tell me everything. Finally, she broke down and admitted it all. They had been having an affair on /off for 3 years. She said it started the semester after she left his class, but she claimed that she was brainwashed by him and that she didn't really want to do it. She said he was in a position of power even though he wasn't her professor anymore, and claimed she was manipulated into an intimate relationship over a 3-year period. It's been a week since I found out. I moved my stuff out that next morning when my wife was at her parents' house and I contacted a divorce attorney. I feel like a zombie. None of this even seems real. My wife has been texting, calling, and emailing me nonstop, asking for forgiveness and a second chance. Her family's trying to contact me as well to convince me to give her another shot. Today, I finally blocked her on everything and her family. Fortunately, I have a great support system, and everyone has been super helpful. I'm going to schedule an appointment with a therapist next week so I can get the ball rolling. I know it will take time to heal, and I know I deserve better. Sorry for the long post. I really needed to get this off my chest.